Hi, welcome to today's Believe Show. We talk about things that we believe that might be a little counterintuitive and that we share with you as tools for your work or life. Today's show is about what is your coaching superpower, or what is your business superpower, or what is your leadership superpower, what is your parenting superpower, what is your superpower? I'll tell you a story about why I came to this question, and then I'll suggest how you can use it in your daily life, and then suggest how it's a little counterintuitive to some other beliefs that people think of. I first came across this question when I was interviewing many coaches to join us at Silicon Valley Change as executive coaches. And I interviewed many coaches by video, and we talked, and they had also done sample coaching, and they were incredible coaches, and I was excited to start to get to know them. And as I was speaking with them, a few of the coaches just instinctively themselves, they started saying, oh, my coaching superpower is, my coaching superpower is. And after a few of these, I actually started asking that as a question. So now it's a standard question because we want to know what coaches' superpowers are. Why ask this question? You've seen a lot of our episodes and a lot of our guests speak about strengths and what do we have within us. And that is part of the same foundation of how do we move towards what we most want to achieve in life. Let me share with you two quotes that you are likely very familiar with. So let me screen share with you. This quote is attributed to Lao Tzu, and it is, watch your words, watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habit. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. And then a similar quote attributed to Stephen Covey, which is, sow a thought, you'll get an action, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. Very similar, very wise. I agree with these ideas. Here's what I'll add, though. I think there's a precursor to this. Before watch your words, I think there's a precursor. And the precursor that I want to introduce to you is before you think about your thoughts, which may affect your words and your habits and then your character and your destiny. Before your thoughts, there may be a question. Now, I will admit flat out that I am biased. I am an executive coach. I'm in the coaching business. I run a coaching company. Questions are very important to my life. I've mentioned this before. In a coaching conversation, I will be doing 20% of the talking. The client, the leader that I'm coaching, will be doing 80% of the talking. And my talking will be almost entirely questions. So I am biased about questions, but bear with me. Stay with me on this. Before you have a thought, something has to trigger that thought. Now, you can walk around the world and have thoughts and have different stimuli incite and trigger thoughts in you. Or you can planfully and deliberately plan some things and have thoughts. Or you can, with low effort, the bar is very low, you can ask yourself some questions. So this is what I believe that others may not. Others may say things start with a thought. I actually think that things start with a question. I believe things start with a question, and hence my suggestion and question to you today is, what is your coaching superpower? What is your business superpower? And there are two main reasons to ask this kind of question. And then I'll also give you some examples of what people have said in answer to this question. Two main reasons are, you're actually focusing your brain on solving the right problem. Let me explain what I mean. Another similar question is, what is your leadership philosophy? What is your business superpower? What is your leadership superpower? When you ask this, you're actually asking a person to crystallize, to make really tight what their superpower is, what their strength, what their contribution, their value. And that by itself is already very focusing. So that's one benefit, that it really focuses us. And the other benefit is it is continual. Once you ask a question, it's very likely that it's going to keep running and running in the back of your head, even after you've given it a first answer. So there are many reasons that questions keep running around in the back of our heads. Kurt Lewin, one of the first founders of social psychology, he's always said that there is this tension between a goal. The reason that we reach for goals is that here's us in our current form, and there's that goal. whether it's more muscular or more relaxed or more calm, that goal. And there's a tension between these two things, and that's why we reach for them. Similarly, I've talked to you about the question behavior link and about appreciative inquiry, which is all about how the question is the seed of change. And the question behavior link, there have been many, many studies that if you ask somebody a question like, will you floss in the next 3 months? Or will you buy a car in the next 6 months? The people that you ask that question of, just ask that question of, those people are more likely to do these things. So given all that, I am suggesting to you, because a question like, what is your leadership superpower? Because it can focus you now and it can keep reverberating in your head. Because of those two reasons, how could you start to ask yourself this question? So, like I said, I'm going to give you a few examples. After I started asking this, I don't want to say my world changed, but in a sense it did. I love asking this question. Here are, for example, some of our coaches, some of the coaches that you are working with, if you're already working with us, here are some of the superpowers that they said. Let me get to the right screen to tell you their superpowers. Okay, give me one moment. Okay, so here are some of the superpowers. Some of the superpowers are my enthusiasm. I don't notice it, but people tell me again and again. The breakthroughs that I help people reach. Trust, listening and how I listen. So these are some coaching superpowers, but as I say them, I'm not just saying them to brag about how amazing our coaches are. I'm saying them so you can start to think about how do I show up? What is my leadership superpower? What is my business superpower? What's my parenting superpower? So people say empathy. A lot of our coaches have said empathy. Quite a number of coaches said my non-judgment. People really feel that they can relate to me because of my non-judgment. My passion, my active listening. I'll just give you a few others. Vision. I have people see their full potential. Connect the dots. I have helped people connect the dots between the information that they share with me. My curiosity. So that's a little bit of a description of how some people answer that question. So now let's turn back to you. If you were to answer the question, what is your coaching superpower or what is your leadership superpower? How would you answer this question? And I'll just give you mine. My coaching superpower happens to be questions. And I'll caveat that with, hey, not all of the questions that I ask get a result, and not all of the questions that I ask are successful in the moment. Some of them are complete flops. I'll ask a question and I backtrack. As a coach, I feel that I have, and I do have the permission to backtrack, and I check in with my client about that. All this to say, mine is questions. And if I needed to name a secondary superpower, it would be a pause. When I'm coaching, I will pause and then ask that question. That just happens to be mine. What's yours? What is your coaching superpower, your parenting superpower, your leadership superpower? And the biggest thing that I'd like to know is, how are you going to keep asking yourself and keep this in the back of your head? In the way that we like to end these episodes, we like to end it with a takeaway idea and a takeaway action. So my takeaway idea for you is, how could you keep this question reverberating in the back of your head? Sorry, that makes it look like I'm demonstrating something else, but reverberating in the back of your head. How could you keep walking around and asking, what is my leadership superpower? What is my coaching superpower? What's my parenting superpower, if that's relevant? That's one, that's the takeaway idea. And my takeaway action for you is actually to jot down, literally on a Post-it note or whatever you have in front of you, just jot down a few quick thoughts about what they are for you. It's a first take of crystallizing that idea of what's happening. And I'm just telling you, those things help you focus on the right ways that you're contributing to the business, to the world, to yourself, to your life. So to wrap it all up, we have a takeaway idea and the takeaway action. They are both about asking yourself this question: what is my blank superpower? I encourage you to have fun with it, play with it, be kind of playful and silly with it, and enjoy. We look forward to seeing you next time. We're here every day, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific. All the best.